Hello, friends. Today we begin a new series, The First Lord in All 12 Houses. In Vedic Astrology, the first house, the Lagna house, represents your body, your self, identity, and overall life path. The planet that rules your first house, called the Lagna Lord or the first house Lord, is one of the most important planets in your chart. Where this planet is placed tells us how your life energy flows, what drives you, and where your personality expresses itself most strongly. So, in this series, we will go through all 12 possible placements of the first lord and the first house to the 12th house. So, each placement gives a completely different flavor to the same self. So, let's begin. The first house is the most important house in Vedic astrology. It represents your physical body, personality, overall life direction, vitality, and how others see you. So, first lord in the first house. So, what this means is when the lord of the first house sits in the first house itself, it is in its own domain. That is Lagna Lord in Lagna. So, the person's entire life force is focused on the self. This is generally a strong and favorable placement. The person is self reliant, independent, and naturally confident. The strengths: exceptionally strong physical constitution and natural vitality, deep self awareness, they know who they are and act accordingly. Independent thinkers who carve their own path in life, and they are natural leaders who don't want for permission to take initiative. Challenges: they can become excessively self focused or egoistic. They may struggle to collaborate, delegate, or trust others, and their identity can feel fragile when not receiving recognition. And they also risk of neglecting relationships and other areas of life. So, what to practice? Cultivate humility and gratitude to balance the strong ego. Make space for others, listen, collaborate, and share credit. And channel your strong confidence into purposeful service for others. Now, let's look into the sign variations. So, if the all planets, like we look into the all planets as first lord. So if your first lord is a particular planet, it will so that particular planet in the first house will give different results. So if sun is your first lord and sun is in the first house, then you will have radiant and authoritative presence. You will have strong ego and natural leadership ability, drawn towards recognition and status. If moon is your first lord in first house, you will have emotional, nurturing, and highly intuitive ability. Identity deeply tied to feelings, family, and inner emotional life. If Mars is your first lord, then you will have a bold, energetic, and action first attitude. You will have strong physical drive, competitive nature, and fearless approach to life. If Mercury is your first lord, you will have an intellectual, communicative, and analytical identity. Your identity is expressed through ideas, curiosity, and mental agility. If Jupiter is your first lord in first house, then you will be wise, generous, and spiritually inclined. You will have broad philosophical outlook and naturally optimistic personality. If Venus is your first lord, you will have charming, artistic, and comfort-seeking persona. Your identity is expressed through beauty, harmony, and meaningful relationships. If Saturn is your first lord, you will be serious, disciplined, and slow burning. Your identity is built steadily through patience, hard work, and responsibility. If Rahu and Ketu, they are not lord of any house, any sign. But if Rahu is present in the first house, then you will be unconventional and magnetic. There will be restless hunger for reinvention. The person may redefine themselves many times in life. If Ketu is in the first house, Then you will be detached and spiritual. You carry deep past life wisdom, but may struggle to define or assert the self clearly. Your health also needs attention. Now let's look into the first lord in second house. The second house represents wealth, family, speech, food, and accumulated resources. It shows how we earn, save, and relate to our family of origin. So, what this placement means is the self is channeled into building security and accumulative resources. Identity becomes closely tied to wealth, family lineage, and the power of speech. This is generally supportive placement. The person works hard to build a stable life. Strengths: the person will have a strong drive to earn, save, and build financial security across life. They will be powerful. They will have powerful voice. Their speech is often a key personal asset. They will have deep connection to family values, traditions, and history. Money tends to flow toward the person through their own consistent effort. Challenges: self worth can become too entangled with financial status. Speech can be blunt, harsh, or used carelessly. Tendency to hoard rather than share resources. May over prioritize family or money at the expense of personal growth. What to practice? Use speech as a tool for upliftment, not just assertion. Share wealth generously. Abundance grows when it flows. Find self worth in values and character, not just financial status. Sign variation. So, all planets as first lord. So, if Sun is your first lord and it is placed in this second house, then you'll have strong pride in family and lineage. You'll have authoritative speech. Wealth comes through leadership and public recognition. If Moon is your first lord in second house, then emotional attachment to family wealth, fluctuating finances tied to emotional state, and you'll have warm and nurturing voice. If Mars is your first lord in placed in second house, then you'll be aggressive earner with direct, forceful speech. You'll have strong drive to accumulate and protect resources. If Mercury is your first lord and placed in second house, then wealth through intellect and communication. You'll gain wealth through intellect and communication. You'll have sharp analytical speech, and you'll have a natural business sense. If Jupiter is your first lord in second house, then wealth comes through wisdom and teaching. You'll be generous with family. You'll have an inspiring speech. If Venus is your first lord placed in second house, then you'll gain wealth through arts or luxury. You'll have sweet, charming voice. You'll have strong love for beautiful and refined possessions. If Saturn is your first lord placed in second house, you'll be slow but steady in wealth accumulation. So there will be slow and steady wealth accumulation, and you'll have serious and measured speech, and you'll be frugal and disciplined with money. So you'll not spend money a lot. So you'll be saving the money. So if Rahu is in the second house, then there will be unconventional wealth paths. There will be obsessive drive to accumulate wealth, and your speech will be hypnotic and persuasive. It can be used for good or ill purpose. If Ketu is in your second house, then there will be detachment from material wealth. You have philosophical and spiritual speech. You are drawn to simplicity, and past life richness doesn't motivate your wealth accumulation. So now let's look into the first lord in third house. So third house represents courage, personal effort, siblings, communication, and your skills and short journeys as well. It shows how we assert ourselves in daily life and how we develop our individual talents. So what this placement means, the self is expressed when first lord is in third house, then the self is expressed through action, courage, and self effort. The person builds their identity through skills they develop with their own hands and mind. This placement produces active, communicative individuals who make things happen. Strengths. You'll be courageous and hands on. They get things done through personal effort. You have natural talent for communication, writing, speaking, or digital media. There will be strong relationship with siblings who often play a supportive role in life, and you'll have an entrepreneurial streak, so you can create your own opportunities. Challenges. Restlessness. The mind and body can always are always moving, and you are hard to slow down. Physical vitality can be slightly diminished. So consistent health habits are important. You may act impulsively without fully planning, and there is risk of spreading energy across too many projects. What to practice? Channel restless energy into one main craft or pursuit. Rest regularly. The body needs recovery to match the active mind, and plan before leaping. So you need to understand that courage paired with strategy is unstoppable. Sign variation. So if sun is your first lord and it is placed if it is placed in third house, then your identity expressed through leadership in communication. You will have authoritative voice. You may have complex or competitive sibling dynamics. If moon is your first lord and it is placed in third house, then you'll be emotionally expressive and caring communicator. Courage is driven by feeling. You will have close nurturing bond with siblings. If Mars is your first lord placed in third house, then you will have exceptional courage and physical drive. You'll be competitive and technically skilled. You thrive in hands-on action-oriented fields. If Mercury is your first lord placed in third house, then you'll be a gifted writer or speaker. You'll have sharp, curious mind. Identity is built through ideas, learning, and wide networks. If Jupiter is your first lord and it is placed in the third house in your chart, then wisdom is expressed through teaching and writing. You'll have philosophical courage. You'll be supportive and caring. You'll have supportive and caring sibling relationships. If Venus is your first lord and it is placed in third house, then you'll be artistic and creative communicator. You'll have charming and harmonious expression, and have strong aesthetic sense. If Saturn is your first lord placed in third house, then you'll have disciplined and methodical effort. You'll be slow but precise and reliable communicator, and you'll be a serious skill builder. If Rahu is in the third house, this kind of person will have unconventional skills and communication style. They will have obsessive drive to master a craft, and they are drawn to media, technology, and unusual fields. If Ketu is in the third house, they will have unique skills emerging from past life expression, and they will have spiritual courage, and they may feel emotionally distant or detached from siblings. Now let's look into the fourth house. First lord in fourth house. So fourth house represents home, mother, inner peace, property, vehicles, emotional foundation. So it is the foundation on which the entire chart rests. So what this placement means: the self is drawn inward toward home, family, and emotional security. Identity is rooted in domestic life, mother's influence, and need for inner peace. This is generally a positive placement. So because it is a Kendra house, so Kendra house gives strength to the Lord. Strengths. You'll have strong emotional intelligence and stable inner foundation. You'll have good fortune with property, land, vehicles, and real estate. There will be close and nurturing bond with the mother, who often plays a pivotal role in life. You'll be naturally content. Inner peace comes more easily than to most. Challenges. Can become overly private, reclusive, or emotionally withdrawn from the world. Emotional dependency on mothers or family of origin. May prioritize comfort over ambition, missing outer opportunities. Physical vitality needs attention. Lord is away from Lagna. So what to practice? Behave, balance deep love of home with active engagement in the world. Cultivate emotional independence. Find peace within, not only through family. Let home be your sanctuary, not your hiding place. Sign variation. If Sun is your first lord placed in the fourth house, then pride and identity tied to home and status. There will be pride and identity. And you will have strong and prestigious mother. You seek recognition through property and domestic position. If Moon is your first lord placed in the fourth house, then there will be deeply nurturing and you'll be deeply nurturing and home loving, very close bond with mother. Emotional peace strongly depends on home environment. If Mars is the first lord placed in fourth house, you'll have energetic and active home environment, strong drive to acquire property. Mother may be assertive or strong-willed. If Mercury is the first lord in fourth house, intellectual and communicative home environment. Learning happens within the family circle. Articulate mother. If Jupiter is the first lord placed in fourth house, you'll have blessed and dharmic home life, wise and spiritual mother, deep happiness through family and inner values. If Venus is the first lord placed in fourth house, beautiful and comfortable home, artistic and refined mother, happiness through aesthetic surroundings and domestic harmony. If Saturn is the first lord in fourth house, home happiness may come late or through effort. You will have disciplined and hardworking mother. Property is built through sustained patience. If Rahu is in the fourth house, they will have unconventional home setup or foreign residence. They'll have restless domestic life. Mother figure may be ambitious, unusual, or from a different background. If Ketu is in the fourth house, they'll have a spiritual and detached home environment. There will be deep past life connection to homeland and ancestors. Material comforts of home hold little attraction. Now let's look into the first lord in the fifth house. The fifth house represents intelligence, creativity, children, romance, speculative gains, the past life merit punya. It is also one of the most auspicious house. It is a Trikona house. So first lord in here is considered very fortunate. So what this placement means, when first lord is in the fifth house, the self shines through creativity, intelligence, and joy. The person's identity is expressed through art, performance, learning, romance, and natural playfulness. So this is a highly favorable placement because it gives strength to the first lord. So let's look into the strength. If first lord is placed in the fifth house, so you will be sharp, naturally gifted. You'll have naturally gifted intellect that is often present from early childhood. You'll have a strong creative expression in art, writing, performance, design. You'll be joyful and you'll have inspiring energy that others are drawn to. You'll have deep blessings connected to children who bring happiness and pride to your life. And you'll have past life merit, that is Purva Punya, that supports the person's life journey. Challenges. Ego can become tied to intellectual superiority. There is risk of arrogance. You are attracted to speculations, gambling, or risky romantic ventures. You may overinvest emotionally in children or expect too much from them. And physical vitality also needs care. What to practice? Channel creative energy into purposeful, meaningful work. Avoid speculation and gambling. Your mind seeks stimulation, but it needs to be disciplined. And practice intellectual humility. Wisdom shared is more powerful than wisdom hoarded. Sign variations. So if your first lord is sun and it is placed in the fifth house, then it will give strong creative leadership and philosophical intellect. You will have deep pride in children and creative achievements. If first lord is moon placed in the fifth house, you'll have intuitive and emotionally deep creativity. You'll have rich inner imagination, and you'll have strong and emotional attachment to children. If Mars is the first lord placed in the fifth house, then you'll have bold and competitive creative expression. You will be passionate in romance, and you'll have driven and energetic intellect. If Mercury is the first lord placed in the fifth house, you'll have razor sharp analytical mind. You will be a gifted writer or speaker, and wit and humor is part of your creative identity. If Jupiter is your first lord placed in the fifth house, you'll have great wisdom and intelligence. You'll be fortunate and blessed with children. You'll be a natural teacher and philosophical guide. If Venus is your first lord placed in the fifth house, you'll be artistic, you'll be deeply romantic, you'll have charming and beautiful creative expression. If Saturn is your first lord placed in the fifth house, you'll have disciplined and structured intellect. You'll be slow but deep learning. Creativity in your life, creativity builds through patient and sustained effort. If Rahu is in your fifth house, then you will be obsessive learner, an unconventional learner, and you are drawn towards unusual or cutting edge forms of expression. If Ketu is in your fifth house, then so you will have natural creative ability from that comes from your past life. You'll have spiritual intelligence, and you may feel indifferent to recognition of your creative work. Now let's look into the sixth house. The sixth house represents enemies, debts, disease, daily service, competition, and obstacle. It is one of the difficult house. It's also called Dusthana house. So what this placement means. So if first lord is placed in the sixth house, then life involves significant challenges, but the person has the resilience to overcome them. The sixth house placement of the first lord is considered challenging but also empowering. So it produces fighters and healers. Strength. You will have tremendous resilience and ability to recover from setbacks. You can defeat enemy and competitors through sheer persistence and strategy. You excel in fields involving service, healing, law, military, or social work. You develop immense practical wisdom through lived experience of hardship, challenges. There could be health challenges, chronic illness, or diseases. Enemies and competition could be recurring, and you can lose. You could become a workaholic or people pleaser, and physical vitality needs strong, consistent discipline. What to practice? Make daily health a non-negotiable priority. So focus on your health and well-being. Choose which battles are worth fighting. So do not go on fighting or struggling with everything. Like not every enemy deserves your energy. And serve others generously, but maintain a personal boundaries as well. Sign variations. If Sun is your first lord placed in the sixth house, then you will have strong authority in service roles. You can overcome all opposition, and identity. Your identity is built through disciplined, hard-won achievements. If Moon is your first lord placed in the sixth house, you are emotionally driven to serve and heal. Your health fluctuates with emotional state. You are compassionate and intuitive caregiver. If Mars is your first lord placed in the sixth house, you are fierce and unstoppable competitor. You excel in military, surgery, or sports. You defeat all opposition through your willpower. If Mercury is your first lord placed in the sixth house, you will have analytical and precise in service. You are sharp at identifying and resolving problems. You excel in legal, medical, or analytical careers. If Jupiter is your first lord placed in the sixth house, you will be dharmic and wise in service. You will be natural teacher or healer. You are generally well protected from serious harm by enemies. If Venus is your first lord placed in the sixth house, you will provide service through art, beauty, or wellness. You will have pleasant and harmonious work environment, and your health needs consistent discipline. If Saturn is your first lord placed in the sixth house, you will be disciplined and long-term service, or you will have long-term service orientation. You might have chronic but manageable health. And your karmic debt will be repaired through your dedicated work. If Rahu is in the sixth house, then you'll have obsessive work ethic. You'll have unconventional path in healing or service. Enemies are persistent but ultimately overcome through persistence. Ketu, if Ketu is in your sixth house, you'll have a spiritual approach to service and healing. You'll be detached from your enemies, and past life karma through around health and duty will be resolved in this life. Now let's look into the seventh house. So seventh house is the house of partnerships, marriage, business alliances, or and open relationships. So it is just the opposite of the first house. So it represents the other in contrast to the self. So when first lord is placed in the seventh house, the self is directed outward, so towards others. Your identity and purpose are channeled through partnerships. And the first and seventh being opposite houses creates a natural tension. The self is always pulled toward the other. Strengths. You'll be highly charismatic. You naturally attract partners, collaborators, or supporters. You'll have tremendous skill in negotiation, diplomacy, and building alliances. You often rise in life through marriage or business partnership, and you excel in public relations, law, counseling, or trade. Challenges. You may lose sense of self when deeply involved in relationship. Your self-worth can become too dependent on partners. There is risks of neglecting personal health while focusing on others, and you can attract partners who mirror their own unresolved inner tensions. What to practice? Know yourself deeply before entering partnerships. Practice healthy boundaries. Love without losing yourself. Invest time in personal health and goals alongside relationship goals. Sign variations. So, if your first lord is Sun and it is placed in the seventh house, then your identity shines through public roles. Partner may be prominent or authoritative. Personal rise through public life and partnerships. If Moon is your first lord placed in the seventh house, emotional security is comes through relationships. Um, your marriage is deeply tied to sense of home and belonging. If Mars is your first lord placed in the seventh house, you are passionate and assertive in partnerships. Their conflict is possible, but great shared drive and energy together. Mercury, if Mercury is your first lord placed in the seventh house, you'll have intellectual and communicative partnerships. You'll have business through ideas, and your partner could be witty and analytical. Your spouse or partner, it could be your spouse or business partners. If Jupiter is your first lord and placed in the seventh house, you'll have wise and generous partner. There could be significant personal growth through marriage, and your spouse may be knowledgeable or spiritually inclined. If Venus is your first lord placed in the seventh house, you will have harmonious and romantic partnership. There will be strong desire for beauty and companionship. You'll be very deeply invested in relationships. If Saturn is your first lord placed in the seventh house, there will be serious karmic partnerships. Your marriage, there could be delay in marriage, but it will be loyal, stable, and long lasting. If Rahu is in the seventh house, there could be unconventional or foreign spouse, or there could be foreign partnerships as well, and there could be intense attraction to partners. Relationship will bring rapid growth as well as important life lessons. If Ketu is in the seventh house, there could be past life connection with your spouse. There will be spiritual growth through relationship, and some natural emotional detachment from marriage could be there. Now let's look into the eighth house. Eighth house represents longevity, transformation, hidden knowledge, inheritance, sudden events, and occult. It is one of the difficult houses. It's also called the Dusthana house. Uh, the placement here is a challenging placement. So when a first lord is placed in the eighth house, the self, your self, is submerged in depth and darkness to find its most authentic form. So life involves recurring cycles of crises and transformation, and that will finally reshape the who the person is, like reshape you, and it will make you more. It will grow. It will make you more grow yourself. And displacement is difficult for physical health and general ease of life, but it will produce some of the most profound and resilient individuals' strengths. You'll have extraordinary research ability, and you will be the master of hidden and taboo subjects. You will have a great resilience. You can completely rebuild identity after loss. There could be potential of gains through inheritance or spouse resources, and you'll have a deep intuition and natural connection to esoteric wisdom. Challenges: health and longevity are the primary concerns. You need to discipline your health practices throughout your life, and life is marked by sudden upheavals. There could be sudden losses and transformations, and you could have a secretive nature, so that can create distance, distrust, and loneliness. And your identity may feel unstable or undefined during major life transitions. What to practice: embrace transformation as your natural state. So do not resist transformation. Resistance can cause more suffering than change itself. So accept transformation, and try to accept the sudden events in your life that will eventually transform you into a better person. And make health a daily priority, and never neglect warning signs. And cultivate openness and trust to counterbalance the secretive instinct. Sign variations: if Sun is your first lord placed in the eighth house, your ego undergoes deep transformation through crisis. Identity is repeatedly tested and revealed, and in your life, a spiritual depth will emerge through suffering. If Moon is your first lord placed in the eighth house, there could be intense emotional life. There could be turbulent emotional life. You could have strong psychic sensitivity and intuition, and identity is shaped by emotional upheavals. If Mars is your first lord placed in the eighth house, you'll be fearless researcher, and you are drawn to occult and hidden things, and you'll have strong physical resilience. If Mercury is your first lord placed in the eighth house, you'll have a analytical mind to hidden and taboo subjects. You'll be excellent in research, psychology, and investigative fields. If Jupiter is your first lord placed in the eighth house, you'll gain wisdom and spiritual growth during crisis. Your longevity is protected. You'll gain through inheritance and deep philosophical transformation. If Venus is your first lord placed in the eighth house, there will be gain through spouse or inheritance. You'll have magnetic personal appeal. You'll have pleasure-seeking tendency, so that need conscious discipline. If Saturn is your first lord placed in the eighth house, there will be long life with persistent challenges, and deep karmic character is built through a disciplined approach to transformation. If Rahu is in your eighth house, then you'll have obsession with occult, hidden, or taboo worlds. There could be sudden and radical life transformations, and you will have unconventional approach to existence or mortality. If Ketu is in your eighth house, you'll have deep past life wisdom that emerges naturally to you. You'll have natural mystic and renunciate. You'll be a natural mystic, and there could be profound detachment from physical identity and the material world. Now let's look into the ninth house. Ninth house represents luck, father, higher wisdom, father is also represented by the 10th house, but the father figure is represented by ninth house. It represents higher wisdom, religion, philosophy, long journeys, life purpose, and it is one of the most auspicious houses. And if first lord is placed in the ninth house, the self is naturally aligned with dharma and higher purpose. This is one of the most fortunate placement of the first lord. The person is guided by philosophy, faith, and sense of greater meaning. And grace and good fortune tend to flow throughout their life. Strengths: they are naturally fortunate. Opportunities appear more easily to them, and they have a strong moral compass. They have a strong ethical nature and philosophical depth. They have powerful blessings from father or guru figure who shapes the life path. And this placement is great for careers in teaching, religion, law, philosophy, or travel. Challenges: you can become dogmatic or rigid in lives, in beliefs, in your beliefs. You could be rigid in your beliefs. You may be so focused on ideals that practical daily life suffers. And there is a risk of neglecting close relationships. So you provide attention to your children and partners. And your physical health also needs discipline. What to practice: stay grounded in daily responsibilities even while pursuing higher ideals. Keep your belief flexible. Because you need to understand that wisdom grows when it remains open, and share philosophical understanding as guidance, not as preaching. So if sign variation, so if sun is your first lord placed in the ninth house, then you'll have strong father influence or guru influence. Fame and identity build through dharmic or philosophical pursuits. You'll have natural authority in higher learning. If moon is your first lord placed in the ninth house, you'll be deeply spiritual and intuitive. Emotional connection to faith and tradition. Mother and guru play central roles in life. If Mars is the first lord placed in the ninth house, you'll be courageous and energetic in pursuit of truth. You'll be philosophical warrior. You'll have drives toward higher knowledge and meaningful action. If Mercury is your first lord placed in the ninth house, you could become a intellectual philosopher and teacher. You could communicate higher knowledge effectively. Writing or teaching is the life dharma of yourself. If Jupiter is the first lord placed in the ninth house, you'll have great wisdom, great fortune, and spiritual grace. You'll have deeply philosophical life purpose. You'll have a strong and guiding father or guru figure. If Venus is your first lord placed in the ninth house, dharma is expressed through beauty, harmony, and art. You'll have blessings through a spiritual teacher or partner, and you'll have refined philosophical values. If Saturn is your first lord placed in the ninth house, you'll have disciplined and dedicated pursuit of dharma, and your karmic rewards come through sustained faith, patience, and ethical living. If Rahu is in the ninth house, then you'll have unconventional spiritual path. You are drawn to foreign philosophies or religions, and you find dharma outside traditional frameworks or institutions. If Ketu is in the ninth house, you will have deep past life spiritual merit. You can naturally renunciate, and liberation and detachment from worldly ambition is the true life goal for this kind of placement. Now let's look into the 10th house. So the 10th house represents career, public status, authority, reputation, and one's life work. It is also a Kendra house, so it's a powerful house. And the self, when first lord is placed in the 10th house, the self is inseparable from career and public standing. The person is driven to achieve, lead, and leave a meaningful legacy. And this is one of the strongest placement of the first lord. So career comes naturally, and recognition follows the person. Strength: exceptional career drive with strong likelihood of public recognition, natural authority and commanding professional presence, born to lead. They excel in leadership, entrepreneurship, politics, or any public facing role. Their career becomes the primary vehicle for self expression and fulfillment. Challenges: personal life, family, and home tend to be neglected in favor of career. Identity becomes over entangled with status and achievements. Public failures or setbacks will hit the sense of self very deeply, and physical health needs discipline. The body cannot keep up with ambition without care. What to practice? Nurture family and close relationships. Career success means little when love at home, without love at home. Build identity around character and values, not just titles and achievements. Lead with integrity. Public life demands consistent ethical standards. Sign variations. If Sun is your first lord placed in the 10th house, you'll have powerful and prestigious career, strong desire for public recognition, you excel in government and leadership roles. If Moon is your first lord placed in the 10th house, you'll have career in public service, care or nurturing roles. You are emotionally invested in work. You could have fluctuating career path. If Mars is the first lord placed in the 10th house, you will be ambitious and fearless in career. You are driven to rise through sheer effort. You excel in military, engineering, or entrepreneurship. If Mercury is your first lord placed in the 10th house, career is built through communication, media, or intellect. You could be versatile and adaptable professional. If Jupiter is your first lord placed in the 10th house, you'll have respected career in teaching, law, or philosophy. You are recognized publicly as a wise and generous figure. If Venus is your first lord placed in the 10th house, there could be career through arts, beauty, or diplomacy. You'll have charming and beloved public presence. If Saturn is your first lord placed in the 10th house, there will be slow but steady career rise. You'll have disciplined and authoritative public life. You earn respect and authority over time. If Rahu is in the 10th house, then there could be unconventional career rise. There could be fame through unusual fields. Rapid success is possible. Also, there could be sudden reversal as well. If Ketu is in the 10th house, then so your career is naturally driven by past life expertise. You are drawn to spiritual or research based careers, and you may achieve public recognition while remaining personally indifferent to it. Now let's look into the 11th house. The 11th house represents gains, income, social networks, elder siblings, and fulfillment of desires. So when first lord is placed in the 11th house, the self thrives through social connection and pursuit of large ambition. The person is naturally gifted as building networks, earning gains, and turning dreams into reality. Strength. There could be strong and consistent income, especially with maturity. You could have wide and diverse social networks. Desires and aspirations are frequently realized in life, and elder siblings often play a positive, supportive role. Challenges. You may become too absorbed in social status or material gains. There could be endless desire. Your close, intimate relationships can feel less prioritized than social ones. Like you could more focus on social relationships than the close ones. And physical health needs attention despite general vitality. What to practice? Cultivate genuine contentment. Use networks and abundance to give back to the community. Invest in deep, intimate relationships. So, because breadth of the connections need depth to be meaningful. Sign variations. If Sun is your first lord placed in the 11th house, there could be gain and social standing through leadership. You would be prominent in groups and communities. Elder siblings may be influential figures. If Moon is your first lord placed in the 11th house, emotional fulfillment through community and friendship, gains through nurturing networks, fluctuating income tied to emotional state. If Mars is your first lord placed in the 11th house, there could be aggressive and competitive pursuit of gains. There could be benefits through technology or innovation. Driven and ambitious social networker. You could be a driven social networker. If Mercury is your first lord placed in the 11th house, There could be gains through communications, writing, or business. You could have wide network of valuable contacts and intellectually driven social life. If Jupiter is your first lord placed in the 11th house, um, there could be abundant gains and frequent wish fulfillments. You are widely respected in large groups, and you will be generous with wealth and knowledge. If Venus is your first lord placed in the 11th house, there could be gains through art, luxury, or entertainment. You'll be charming and well liked in social settings, and income could come through beauty and relationships. If Saturn is your first lord placed in the 11th house, there could be slow but consistent and reliable income growth. You will be disciplined networker, and there could be gains through long-term strategic investments. If Rahu is in the 11th house, there could be sudden and large gains through unconventional means. There could be wide and unusual social circles, and there could be intense and ambitious material desires. If Ketu is in the 11th house, you could have detachment from gains despite receiving them. You could be drawn towards spiritual communities. You give generously, and you'd have abundance flows from past life merit. Now, finally, let's look into the 12th house. 12th house represents losses, foreign lands, isolation, liberation, sleep, and consciousness. It is one of the difficult house. It is also called Dusisthana house. So when first lord is placed in the 12th house, so the self is drawn away from the world towards solitude, foreign environments, retreat, and ultimate liberation. The person may struggle to assert themselves in the material world, but they carry extraordinary spiritual depth. This is the placement of mystics, monks, healers, and those who serve in hidden or behind the scenes way. Strength. You will have deep spiritual insight, intuition, and meditative ability from an early age. You often succeed in foreign countries or through work done privately and behind the scenes. There could be a strong connection to the unconscious, dreams, and subtle dimensions of reality. You will have genuine compassion. You give without expecting recognition. Challenges. Health is the primary concern here. Your physical constitution is often the weakest of all the 12 placements. You will have difficulty asserting the self. You could tend to be overlooked or underestimated. There could be financial losses or excessive spending can recur throughout your life. And your identity may feel vague, undefined, or easily overwhelmed by others' energies. What to practice? Embrace solitude as your greatest teacher, not as punishment. Guard your physical health and finances with consistent discipline. Channel your extraordinary inner depth into healing, writing, or service that helps others. And trust that your quieter path carries as much value as any public one. Sign variations. If Sun is your first lord placed in the 12th house, so your ego will dissolve through isolation or solitude. Your identity is found through spiritual retreat, and success is possible in foreign lands. If Moon is your first lord placed in the 12th house, you are emotionally withdrawn and introspective. You have a strong psychic sensitivity. You will find peace in solitude, in nature, or in inner life. If Mars is your first lord placed in the 12th house, your energy is directed into hidden, foreign, or institutional environments. You are drawn to hospitals, resorts, or monastic settings. If Mercury is your first lord placed in the 12th house, you will have deep subconscious intellectual life. You will be writing. There could be private writing or research. You could communicate what is difficult to put into ordinary words. If Jupiter is your first lord placed in the 12th house, there could be spiritual liberation and wisdom through renunciation. You could be devoted and philosophical. You are drawn towards moksha as a life purpose. If Venus is your first lord placed in the 12th house, you will find pleasures in private or foreign settings. Your artistic creativity flourishes in solitude. there could be gains through retreat or seclusion. If Saturn is your first lord placed in the 12th house, you will have disciplined spiritual life, you will have renunciation tendencies, you will gain slowly through behind the scenes effort and patient service. If Rahu is in the 12th house, then there will be obsession with foreign lands or hidden worlds. There will be intense subconscious drive. You will have unusual spiritual experiences, and you may relocate abroad permanently. If Rahu is in the 12th, if Ketu is in the 12th house, this is the most spiritually oriented placement. You are a natural renunciant, and your like the moksha or liberation is your soul's true purpose, and you are profoundly detached from the physical world. That's all for today's video. This completes the first lord in all 12 houses series. I hope this video you understand how your Lagna video help you understand how your Lagna's lord placement shapes your personality, life focus, and greatest strengths. You can drop your ascendant and which placement resonated most in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you found this video helpful or useful, please like, share, and subscribe for more Vedic astrology content. Also hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching and keep signing.